pretty big challenge for them. And, you know, if BBR can stay disciplined and they jump on the opportunities that come their way, then they can take maps off these guys. But Divine Mind, they're so hot right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, as we look across these maps, I did just have a quick little whisper in my ear. Chiefs did beat Burger Demons 2-1. By the way, lads. So they dropped a map today. So that is going to be an interesting tale for us to tell a little bit later on. But we've got a story ahead of us. We've got the story of Divine Mind and BBR going head-to-head on the chicken map. CTF Bazaar, lads. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, thanks, Luke, jumping into this one. That is interesting, the Chiefs dropping a game in the opening round, Justin. So it just keeps us, exactly, it just keeps us more and more intrigued for how these tournaments. I love it. It's just keeping us more and more intrigued for how these tournaments are going to unfold as we go in now with all these new look teams, with Barcode stuck down at the passport office waiting to get approval to fly out to the US. There's a lot of different things going on. There's been some reshuffling, and it's fantastic for us casting this because we get a completely open field. So we are jumping on with Benjy to start this one off from BBR. CTF on Bazaar. Benjy just moving really quickly in to try and secure this OS, and he's chucking the shock nades right up at the top. Unfortunately, nothing doing. Pips picks up a double off the break, and this is obviously the first we are getting a watch of Divine Mind for today. So Pips starting off strong out of the gates, Justin. 2 kills to pick it up, but Ninjestics getting nice and aggressive, getting into the Divine Mind base.
Yeah, he does, but as we say that, we swap over to Rated. I could have sworn he had that overshield, but he just dropped like a sack of potatoes. But now we're back on board with Pips, that you highlighted before. He's doing really well. He's 3-1 currently, and now Swayz with those rockets finds himself Bradl's father Benjy up in the cubby. He runs and scampers, and Swayz, he's looking for him. He's like, where the hell did he go? But too bad, Ninjestics, he's got his sneakers on and ran away from that situation. And it looks like they're playing Slayer right now. They're really hunting down those one-shot players. Swayz picking up one of those kills. Adz caught out a little bit there, but he runs away. Swayz in a good position to get this flag out, but he's not going to be able to start a run until he gets some picks. And look at that, almost able to get the double kill, but Ninjestics gets the cleanup, shutting down that flag. But Swayz being such a nuisance. But BBR, they did really well to just go, hey, we've got to shut down this flag. We've got to get rid of this player before we do anything.
Yeah, really aggressive start by Swayz. They just went thrusting in, really wanting to just get into the face of the BBR guys to try and get that flag running. Doesn't look like much is going to come about it. This OS is popping in a second. So, actually, no, sorry, I read that wrong. Not yet, it doesn't look like, but about halfway off, we are on board with Bradl's. Bradl's really coming to his own towards the end of that series, as we spoke about before, Justin. Cobwebs clearly dusted out, mechanically working really strongly. He's going to get pinched pretty hard in this logger, so it does seem, early on at least, that BBR not being able to grab that kind of ascendancy that they did have in the first series. It is a bit of a different ball game coming up against a team like Divine Mind. We do have Plasma starting to make a move on this OS, although he will be pushed back as he does take a bit of damage. Obviously going to be very exposed when going for that OS, so wants to make sure he has full shields, manages to get this overshield, and now he can just basically put his head down and run in like a maniac wherever he wants because he has that extra level of shields. Just looking at being able to stay out in the open there, taking down Adz, takes down Bradl's even though he misses a melee, so you can be forgiven for making some of those mistakes when you have an OS like that in your shields, knowing that you can stay alive, as we just see him hunting now pretty much. They did manage to drop about 2 or 3 members of BBR, but didn't make a push on the flag. They do have them spawning down in the alley now, so it looks like Plasma might be in a position to start to make a run on this flag. It's just a matter of where he is going to run it. He does have 2 players pinned down at double doors, and I like this, Justin. Staying back, letting his shield recharge, knowing his team's going to come in and help. And now we have Swayz here, basically running offense with him, clearing the way for this flag. And if you want a player from Divine Mind helping you run that flag, it's definitely Swayz, just knowing the kind of damage he can put out. Look at this, Justin, already through the double doors, and I think they're going to be in a position to put this in, knowing they've also got rockets in their back pocket as well.
Certainly do, and, you know, Divine Minds, they barely got touch running that one through, and, you know, is that the strength of Divine Minds doing a clean run, or is it BBR just letting that one go? However, they really did let the rockets go pretty uncontested, so I'm not sure what BBR is up to, where they are on the map, but we are on board with Rated. He's got that Bulldog, he's got that Spanker, trying to find supplies. I love that. He goes around and just snaps one onto Bradl's with that Spanker, taking him down. Now with Swayz, the slaying machine, he falls as well. Caster's Curse is real, but Plasma, here he is, hiding in the cubby, trying to find one player. Nice little snap in the killing spree for him, trying to dodge a flurry of grenades. He does fall. now with Bradl's lovely cross-map shots and a double kill for him and a well-placed grenade. He does fall, unfortunately. Now with Ninjestics trying his best to clean up these players, and there's that OS that pops. Ooh. And look at that, Ninjestics coming in and saving his teammate there, who managed to get away cleanly with that overshield. Benjy now pushing into the base. He's almost got a full OS. Good opportunity for BBR to get a flag moving, Hooters.
Yeah, I think he just completely missed Pips behind him, though. He does manage to get him down eventually with the help of Adz, but he'll be dropped as well. Just obviously didn't show up on his screen. We can see it nice and easily as casters here because we can see them through the walls and everything like that, but that's just really unfortunate because I thought they had a bit of an opening there, BBR. Ninjestics done a great job of managing to secure that OS, but just weren't able to really convert that into any flag pressure. They still do have a fair bit of map control here, Divine Mind, despite the fact that they didn't have that OS, so great effort by Pips to help neutralize that and take it out of the game. We are on board with Plasma. I want to give a specific shout out to Swayz. I know I already mentioned him at the start before, but just have a look at that. 14 kills, 6 deaths. Rated also really coming along strongly here as well on 11, so the two Slayers there leading the way for Divine Mind. But BBR still holding their own. They are down a flag cap, but it doesn't look like they're really being dominated in terms of map control just yet. You do see Adz picking up a nice kill there from Truck, moving into the locker on the other side. But right now, no team really able to get any kind of map ascendancy as Adz will be dropped. That is 3 down for Divine Mind for a moment there. So BBR can start to try and push in on their side of the bases. They do have Pip pinned down there in the back in this palm area.
Yeah, Divine Mind, they seem to be racking up a lot of kills, and yes, they're a flag up on the board, but BBR just making it really difficult for them. And you highlighted before Swayz and Rated going monstrous for their team, but here comes the BBR push. It seems to be something they've been so good at so far tonight, is that they'll make a push in together and they'll just go, you know, we're going to double stack this and break the setup. And here's Ninjestics pushing back that player there. BBR setting themselves up to get a flag moving, and I do think it is. Bradl's doing everything that he can to get it moving, but Divine Mind able to shut that one down. But it's kind of like, here comes Adz with the rockets, taking him down. Rated trying to get a return on that flag. OS has popped, but that's what BBR does. They made an opportunity for themselves. They got the flag moving. Yes, it didn't work out this time, but they can just keep doing that. And, you know, sometimes your plays don't work out even though you're trying to do everything right.
Yeah, Rated was able to secure that OS, and he's just pretty much come straight in. It has all been dropped, but he was able to push through, take out Ninjestics up in the bar area, and look at this, he can now sneak through and start to put shots in on them at their base. So they are pushed back around their palm area, the BBR guys. I think they're pretty much all in that one spot. They are now being able to be forced down through double doors there. They will be dropped, Divine Mind, but you know, a bit of a good defensive work, I guess you could say, from BBR right there. Even though they didn't have that OS and they were dropped, able to at least get some kind of map control back. And now you can see they've flipped the script a little bit pretty quickly, actually. Justin Adz in the bar area here, just putting down shots on their flag. But smart move here, knowing that Swayz is hanging around this rocket area. They need to take him out because while he's up there, there's no chance they're running a flag. Swayz somehow managed to stay alive. I know, 2-on-1. He's still alive, and just look how quickly this flips now. Swayz will be dropped, but BBR's pushed all the way back onto the other side when they look like they were getting in a position to actually start a flag run of their own.
Yeah, like Adz just goes in there like a father checking on his son. He's like, "Are you winning, son?" And Swayz is just like practicing his slides and goes, "Dad, I'm busy," and just slams the door in his face. It was unbelievable. And now we're on board with him doing his best Spider-Man impression. No shields in the ducks, just having a little bit of a sleep, getting his shields back, and now challenging Ninjestics there. Will he be able to get away? And scampering away, and Swayz just making himself a difficult kill, which is frustrating, Hooters. It's just one of those players that seems to just get away, reposition, and he completely ignored that player and going off and doing his own thing.
It just feels like he's got tunnel vision and he can just go exactly where he wants and doesn't have to worry about any of the other players on the map. You saw before when he was in the tunnels, put a few shots on Ninjestics, just ran away and knew that his teammates would be there to pick it up. So he's got great faith in the rest of his team to be able to provide the cover for him. I love the cover he's providing himself right now for, I'm not sure who actually is running that flag, but you could see him putting shots on Adz down in the alley there and just able to at least get that flag through the double doors. It looks like they managed to drop it just below balcony here. Adz is going to try his best to try and get some kind of a return here. I think he should be able to. There's enough cover from the market in front of him, so they do get a return on that one. Nice work from BBR, because I thought that Divine Mind were going to be in a position there to at least make a pretty decent run on that flag, but they're able to stop it relatively quickly, which is good for them.
Yeah, I mean, Divine Minds have had a lot of control so far this game, but BBR, they've kept it within one flag, and it's kind of, if they can hold on and create an opportunity for themselves, then they'll be able to tie things up really easily. It's not like Divine Mind is like, you know, 3 up in the flags department right now. It's still anybody's game. And as I say that, it looks like a flag is on the move. I do believe it is for BBR. Benjy scooping up those rockets as well, fresh off the press. They're trying to get that flag out. They're trying to get it moving, and Benjy, he's just looking for those players that are going to overextend and try and shut down this flag. bradlllzzzz goes down, who was running that flag. It is just sitting there, but Benjy comes in with those rockets, able to try and shut down that push. Does get the 2-for-1 with that second rocket. The flag is on the move, trying to stay alive, and look at this, BBR, they held on, you know, by the skin of their teeth, and now in the last couple of minutes of the game, they've able to tie things up, and this is what BBR's been doing so well. It's just kind of, they hang in there, hang in there, and then they're like, boom, green light, this is our opportunity, and they get it done.
Yeah, pretty much one flag and a 100% successful conversion rate. Benjy, I loved his work with the rockets there, not only by getting them, but at least staying above the alley there, just trying to cover off, as you said perfectly, Justin, any kind of overextension from Divine Mind. They weren't able to put it in. Adz now with an OS. You see the nades just flying towards him, but look at his shields there, still completely strong, as if nothing's really happened to him. He is going to be dropped eventually, but that's a big OS there to secure, not let it get in the hands of Divine Mind, but also try and at least keep that flag from getting across on their base. So he's done a great job there. The flag probably not going to be in a position to be moved much further, I don't think, unless Divine Mind's been able to extend across, but I don't think they have. So they are getting slayed out a little bit now, BBR, but Adz straight back to that flag where he was killed before. He's going to get that return. We've got 1 minute and 24 seconds left, Justin, and we're at 1-1. BBR really starting to come back into their own here. If you look at the scoreboard, they're probably out slaying pretty much evenly. I think there's maybe just a few more coming for Divine Mind, but when BBR choose to run a flag, they run it really well.
They do, and it's interesting you bring up the point that the slays have started to even out, because I think before Divine Mind was outsaying almost 2-1, and now BBR, they've been able to bring things back. They've acclimatized to this higher tier Divine Mind roster after fighting off the Direwolves, and BBR, they're just going strength to strength, and look at this, another double kill for Adz, and that seems to be something BBR's really good at as well, is he doesn't get the triple the time of just running out there, but they always seem to get in a position to get a nice clean up double kill, getting those picks and creating opportunities, and they don't have to do anything flashy. You know, Adz was just holding his spot, UBR burst, racks himself up a double kill and pushes in to take some map, and BBR just doing so well with that.
Adz is just playing this life so well. He's been alive for a long time now. It looks like 15 seconds left on the clock. We're probably going to end up going into overtime here, given that we don't have either flag pulled right now. I'm not sure if Adz is going to try and run one while this timer drips down. It seems like he's more concerned with just staying out of the base here. In fact, it looks like there's there's actually teammates on both sides, so they are choosing to run it now, BBR. So if this kill on Pips can go ahead, he uses the thruster perfectly, doesn't get the kill. The flag, I think, is going to stay down in double doors, and Pip, meantime, is actually going to push into the BBR base with these rockets, but not going to be able to get a touch on that flag. Blows himself up just for the sake of it at the end. We're going to go to overtime here. Thought there was maybe going to be a chance for a flag one there with BBR, but it was probably just those rockets that Pips had was able to help them just quell that last final push from BBR.
They were setting it up, weren't they? You could see there was a player there waiting by the flag, and Adz was just there holding down the fort as well. And they're like, hey, we've got an opportunity here. Let's try and make something happen. And yeah, it didn't work out. It was a bit of a hero play, but sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Double kill for Swayz. Triple kills there. No. Do the overkill, but no, bradlllzzzz shutting him down with that crispy BR shot, going for a multi-kill of his own. But Swayz is just so monstrous, isn't he? He just goes in, triple kill off the rip, creating an opportunity for Pips to grab this overshield, and now here comes the Divine Mind push, and they're trying to work down this OS, but it doesn't matter. Here comes Pips like a wrecking ball. He's going for this player, and Ninjestics getting the trade hoots. Absolutely huge kill for BBR in that situation.
Yeah, that always needed to be stopped, like you said, Justin. I mean, moving into the base at that kind of ferocity, you really need to take that player out, because they can cause so much damage going in. Once they get around onto your flag, they can just be putting shots as you spawn down in alley, trying to come back to help defense, and they've got so much cover up there as well. So great work taking him out out there. We sort of returned to a bit of a 0-all draw right now, although as I say that, that's 2 down for BBR. Swayz here looking for, I thought he was going to go for another triple. Unfortunately, he isn't able to pick it up, but shots on Braddles across now. Swayz just doing as much as he can to try and keep BBR disrupted, really. He's happy to just run around the map. You're not seeing him really ever choose to try and hold a power position at all. He's just always making movements, trying to keep the BBR guys unawares. You look at him here just trying to run and take down Braddles. I like that by Braddles, though. Holds his position up in the locker there, gets the kill, and they only have 1 up right now, Divine Mind. 4 dead, actually, right now, although just chaos everywhere, because only Braddles is up for BBR. So,
still alive.
It's just death being rained everywhere, and he's just obviously going to lay low. Unfortunately, chooses to throw that nade at probably the really wrong time there, as Rated comes right around the corner, takes him out while he's mid-animation, and then Pip just, doing his best to just try and stay alive down in this bottom area. But look how much he's just having to turn his head around, keeping it on a swivel, knowing that there's players all around him. 2 down for BBR. So it looks like right now, Justin, Divine Mind starting to get into the slaying groove. It looks like BBR are never really able to have 4 up right now, or through the last couple of minutes while we've been in this overtime. If anyone's in a position right now to start to make a move on this flag, you think it would be Divine Mind.
Yeah, and with Slayer's going 31 and 19, currently hitting that 30 bomb, just real superstar for his squad. But there is just over 2 minutes left to go. It is literally anybody's game, and yes, Divine Mind, they're looking really strong. Swayz is doing lots of amazing things and putting on a clinic for us, but this is capture the flag. It's all about getting that flag over into the podium. Swayz bags himself another one, and has that created an opportunity for his squad? No, it hasn't, because BBR are the ones moving the flag.
Yeah, but Swayz, knowing what's coming up with the rockets, they're perfectly timed. If he can pick these up, he can put a real stop on this flag. Manages to take down Benjy as well. So Swayz is single-handedly not only stopped, no, I thought he'd stopped it, but Adz comes in at the last moment, and he's going to have players coming in off the respawn, moving down into this alleyway. Pip is in a spot to take him out, but he is going to have more BBR players to deal with. This is a huge one-on-one fight. Manages to take out Braddles there. BBR players still in a position to keep running this flag, but they really have kind of overextended here. Only 1 player was up momentarily for them. That's Benjy. Nades are going to come flying in on this flag, and it's a point of the BBR just try and scrap for it, which it looks like they're going to do. They've now got 4 up, 2 down for Divine Mind. And Adz, the flag is actually out though, which I didn't even realize, Justin. So we're going to have a bit of a standoff here. All this time the chaos was happening, I didn't realize Divine Mind were actually running a flag of their own, and they've actually managed to now take 3 players down. Benjy was the last up for a while for BBR, so he's going to have to play massive defense on this flag, but it looks like it's going to be returned, and I think we should have Divine Mind in the position to put it in. Swayz pops that in, they take it 2-1 effectively after overtime, and it was just such a scrap down in that alleyway, Justin, that I didn't even realize that Divine Mind were running one of their own. They let the chaos happen, and then once they brought it back to their place, outslayed, got a really clean round of slays, probably the cleanest they had the whole game, and were able to then easily get the return and put it in for a 2-1 win. But geez, great work by BBR to hold into that one, given we thought that Divine Mind were probably going to come in pretty strongly in this opening game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And that last alleyway was all about Pips there. He got a double kill. He weakened the 3rd player, and BBR had to commit so much resources to keep that flag alive. They all just went in and said, boys, we have to secure this flag. Our flag is gone. If we don't get it, then we're stuffed. And yes, Divine Mind came in and got the return and were able to get that flag in, but credit to Pips for holding BBR back, and credit for BBR to holding on, because it could have gone either way at that point.
Swayz putting in, I think it was 10,500 damage there, leading all comers. Rated was doing really well in the slay department as well. They were pretty even for most of the match. I think it was Swayz that just pulled away towards the end. But yeah, look, it was a real scrappy fight there. There were no clean flag runs, apart probably from that first one that BBR ran, but even then they had to fight for it quite a bit. I thought with Divine Mind, the kind of tight unit they are, that they'd have a few moments where they could just run relatively uncontested, but they really made them fight for it, BBR, and that's what we want to see. We want to see a nice, even game, and I think if you went in at the start of this one, Justin, you'd say probably 2-0 to Divine Mind if that was your prediction, but after that, you can easily see BBR taking a game off this Divine Mind squad. They're definitely warming up.
Yeah, doing well to carry the momentum from that previous series that, you know, maybe even they didn't think they were going to be able to take Direwolves because they've been looking so strong, right? And Divine Mind, even stronger. They've been doing amazing things the last few weeks, but BBR putting up one hell of a fight. But, you know, it's just something that's, you know, scratching in the back of my head is that was BBR's opportunity to grab themselves a map, get in the heads of Divine Mind a little bit and set themselves up to win the series. But now Divine Mind, they're just like, hey boys, we need to tighten things up. We did manage to win that game, but BBR, they're looking pretty strong. We need to switch it on for this next game. But, you know, if BBR took that one, imagine how much momentum would be behind them after taking down Divine Mind in that game.
And on the flip side, for Divine Mind taking that, you know, there was a chance that game was almost, you know, going to keep going and going and going. Those Bazaar CTF games we do know can take a long time and even end up requiring a full restart if we don't get anything after a few overtimes. So, you know, to be able to at least get that win away, they can say, well, thank God we don't have to go through all that again after slogging it out this long. We saw you know, when you see players putting in 10,000 plus damage, that's a sign that this game has gone on for a long time. So they're able to at least bank that win and now look to move into it, as we see at the bottom of the screen there. Slayer on recharge. We saw BBR in the oddball on recharge in the last series play that game really, really well, playing the map really well, I should say. You know, they were able to break some really strong setups, particularly around this A area, bottom and top A. We saw they were able to bait and switch out, and when the picks did come in, they were able to come in and collapse and take that power position on the map off the other team. So let's keep an eye out on some of those BBR guys that we did see excel in that last game and the last series. Bradl's being one of them in particular. I think he's one that we're seeing really start to just boom before our eyes right now for BBR. But as we do load into this one, Justin, I guess if you're a BBR fan or a BBR player, you just have to hope that game there where they were able to hang for so long and end up unfortunately losing hasn't done anything to the momentum that they certainly have been carrying so far throughout tonight.
Yeah, I think they can hang their heads high with their performance so far. And they've been doing really well with pushing their numbers advantage as well, which is exactly what they need to shut down Swayz. They've got to shut him down. They can't let him go pos 20 or, you know, pos 50 in this game. You can't let him catch fire and go off. So looking to get 2v1 situations, key to victory for BBR, I think. But Plasma scooping up that camo and does look like he's going to get away with it pretty cleanly too. He does get a misstep with a double miss melee. Ninjestics shutting him down. What a critical kill for BBR right there. That was just tragic.
Oh, he was just out of range for the melee. Sometimes you think you're there and you're just unfortunately not, and there's nothing worse than when you do it with camo in particular. Obviously, you know, you take your shot with that melee, you show up right in front of your enemy, and your enemy can just, within 2 seconds, put a melee in and finish off with the BR. So super unfortunate there for Plasma. He does have a strong start, though, picking up 2 kills at the start as well, securing that camo for his team. But, you know, Swayz, you did mention him before. We saw him a couple of times last night, Justin, score almost half his team's score in a team Slayer. He's by no means jumping out of the blocks right now. It's Plasma leading the way.
What's Plasma doing?
I have no idea, but we are pretty even Stevens at the start here right now. So no team really jumping out of the blocks, which we did see Divine Mind do last week in particular, where they really sort of put the boots in straight away and started to kill some of the I guess, morale of teams that were coming up against. But BBR doing a great job hanging with them right now, only down by about 2 kills.
Yeah, hanging in there, that they are. And that fresh camo is about to pop as well. How does time fly sometimes? 10 seconds until that pops, and you can see both teams not committing any resources to that just yet, keeping themselves up. But, you know, they've got to pick each, and they're starting to move in to try and scoop this one up. Swayz pushing in a little bit. Adz trying to get something going. He falls as well. Swayz is called out and taken down. Pips is caught. Ninjestics in a 1v1 situation. Will they be able to secure that kill? Nice grenade from Pips, and it doesn't connect. They get away, but Ninjestics is called out and taken down. Not sure who managed to get that camo either, Hoots, but Pips, he's putting in a lot of damage, but he can't secure any kills. And here comes Bradlz with the sword, cuts Pips right in half like a piece of cheese on a cracker. And now Adz moving through. The BBR boys, here they come.
I mean, is it safe to say this camo might have been picked up but taken down pretty much straight away? We haven't seen anyone really with it So not sure what did happen to that, but it looks like it's not going to be a factor, at least this time around. Plasma still leading the way for Divine Mind, 6 kills, only 3 deaths as well, so going nice and positive at the start here. Divine Mind out to a small lead, but it's only by about 1 or 2, and BBR still hanging with them really strongly. Pretty consistent performance across the board if you are looking at the scoreboard there. Ninjestics just trying to stay alive here as he's running down over to blue, picking up that repulsor, and just, I like that, Justin. He's, you know, sometimes it seems like I've just got to keep running away, but to double back sometimes and just catch your enemies off guards, which he's done there perfectly, working with Braddles to take down Plasma there, and you see 3 kills quickly picked up for BBR, and now they've jumped out to a 3-kill lead. So things can turn really, really quickly with just 1 or 2 picks. I love this from Ninjestics. Look at the aggression. Even though he knows there's another player down there as well, he's happy to run out with that repulsor and just putting work on Raided there. BBR is really jumping out now, starting to get a lot of momentum going along, and they're just now basically Ninjestics doing a lot of movement around this map. Look at Adz there, just standing there around the grapple shot, knowing that Pips is probably going to be shooting his head out soon. Ninjestics will clearly be calling that out to Adz. Adz might make a move on him, but meanwhile Ninjestics just needs to watch his back, and he's using his repulsor really well. Swayz does drop him, picks up a double actually. Really nice pick by Swayz there. I thought he was going to get the triple on Benjy. We've seen him do it multiple times when his shields are down, but unfortunately can't make it happen. And Justin, this camo is about to pop now. Let's see who's going to make a move for it.
They are, and something else is the sword is down there ready to be picked up as well. And, you know, Raided's in a good position to grab it, and he can catch Benjy off guard there, but Ninjestics, he's got that camo, he's going in. Not sure it's Raided, managed to spot it. Look how many enemy players they are. Backsmack comes in. Ninjestics doing so well. No, no tracking with that camo, and double kill for him. Perfect BR shots. Ninjestics using this camo to full effect. Third player's there if he wants it. You know, Swayz desperately trying to stay alive. And Swayz, I liked how he pushed that. He went, you know, I've got to get this kill. I can commit everything to it. But Ninjestics, he is playing out of his skins. He just seems to be doing everything right, connecting all the plays correctly. He does fall there, but what a life and camo there from Ninjestics.
Yeah, Divine Mind has managed to pull this back a little bit, but Ninjestics just did. He played that so perfectly, Justin. The trigger discipline to just see 3 players in front of you and just wait until you had the perfect chance to make your move there. Fantastic play by Ninjestics, but we're now on with Swayz. 30-31. BBR only up by 1 kill now. We did see how well they used that camo before, but they weren't able to put much scoreboard separation. Swayz just jumping in. The grenade already going off from Pip, so he didn't have to worry about getting too up close and personal, but he will be dropped. So Swayz probably going in a bit too Rambo-like there. Didn't really have much support from his team. 2 down for Divine Mind. BBR back out to a 2-kill lead, I should say. This camo popping in 30 seconds. Plasma just trying to stay alive here. He is caught, but gets a perfect assist there with Swayz on Ninjestics. Benjy just trying to stay alive as well. I'm really loving the bait and switching from both of these teams, Justin. They're working so well. And it is Benjy who we are on board with right now, leading all comers, 12 kills. He will be dropped on bottom A. And right now, I think we're going to have the camo coming up in a moment, unless it is, or no, it's about 5 seconds left. So again, this should be a crucial camo as we're at this stage of the game. 3-kill lead to BBR, 38-35.
Yeah. You know what, I think BBR was listening when I said they needed to shut down Swayz, because he's 8-10. I don't think we've ever seen Swayz, and he's not struggling. Listen, I'm not saying that he's struggling, but he is negative right now, and we're used to Swayz going double positive, so BBR doing really well to shut him down, but still, all that's bought them is a 40-40 game right now. You know, they've shut down Swayz as much as they can, but they've put themselves in contention. Raided with that fresh camo, easy cleaner onto Benjy, double kills there if he wants it, able to secure it, easy stuff for Raided, and he's on the hunt already, full predator mode, looking for another player, finds himself Adz. Raided just catching fire for his squad. 44-41. That last camo there just being such a deciding factor, and it could be spell disaster for the BBR guys. Killing spree for Raided. 47-41. They are just taking over this game, Hooters.
You said it perfectly, Justin. The camo has been the absolute difference here. It's been about a 7 or 8 kill switch, and Divine Mind showing no real signs of slowing down. Only 2 kills needed now for Divine Mind to close this out. 1 kill as Plasma picks a kill up on Ninjestics over in long haul, and we just are going to see them absolutely swarm on this long haul area now. Raided going in solo, it looks like. He's going to have shots on Braddles, who's already injured, and he picks that up to take the final kill. 50-43. Divine Mind take it out in 2, Justin, but by no means was that a wipeout. BBR holding their own really well, And it was just as you said, that final camo right at the end was the difference that ultimately allowed Rated to run around the map without being contested, put in shots all across the map, pick up some kills, pick up some assists, and Luke, they take it 2-0.
Yeah, it was kind of exactly what you said, right? The scoreline really doesn't reflect what that series was. It was an absolute nail-biter. Map number 1, all the way to overtime. It was only a very clutch flag run coming in from Divine Mind that got that one done. And then a 50-43. That was all BBR's game. You know, we got all the way up to 40 points. It was 40 points apiece. And then this final camo comes in and Rated secures himself, I believe it was 6 kills off the back of it. So basically running all the way to the victory line there. And Justin, this is a really good shout for BBR. Yes, Divine Mind did come out on top and get themselves the victory. We're kind of expecting these guys to perform this well, but I think for me, the big storyline coming out of this is BBR look good, and that means that going into the rest of today, I don't think we can still call champion just yet.
No, not yet, right? And Divine Mind, they won, but it wasn't dominating. BBR was right there with them, and even when BBR was on the back foot, they always just dug their heels in and just went, no, we're not out of this game just yet. And you see it all the time when teams get a little bit behind or the pressure's applied to them, and you know, they hang in there, you know, 25 kills, 30 kills, something like that, and then all of a sudden the other team just starts dominating and running away with it. But no, BBR, they've been able to maintain competitive integrity throughout the entire series, even though they're on the back foot the majority of the time.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I don't want to speak too much for the BBR guys, but this is starting to feel like the Adz effect, right? It feels like this is kind of what we saw from BBR coming out of the Super. It really felt like that they had this tenacious grit about them, that every single time their back's against the wall, they still performed. And, you know, we saw a lot coming out of this Final Form roster, which was kind of BBR with a bit of a twist. But now this BBR roster has come back with the addition of bradlllzzzz, and I mean, they're looking good. Divine Might in and of themselves, they also look good. You know, Swayz, he did have a little bit of a, you know, an uncharacteristic, not pop-off performance for him on that Slayer, but everybody else stands up for Divine Might as well. And I think this is going to be a great tale for us to tell. And I think, you know, looking forward, maybe if we get a BBR versus Chiefs match, might be even tighter than what we saw here today.